Okay, can you cope or is it time to quit? That is a decision facing a lot of workers out there who may feel stuck in a mid-career crisis.
Yeah, and here to help us decide whether it's time to move on, move up, or move out is author and career coach Antonio Neves. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to be back.
All right, first of all, let's just talk about it. What are some signs that you might be stuck in a mid-career crisis?
Yeah, first and foremost, there was a time when you used to do great work. Now it's getting to the point when you're starting to do good enough work. That's a really big difference.
Yeah.
Second, you used to build. A lot of people will feel that, but they also will feel they used to take action on their ideas. They'd get a great idea and they would take action on it. Now they're no longer being proactive in doing those things. And something else that's key is you used to build relationships. Like you used to build relationships, you would meet people, and now you just don't want to be bothered. You want to go to work, do your job, and be done. So those are three things that could tell you may be in a bit of a funk.
Yeah, it really does. That kind of really just spells it all out. So let me ask you this. How can you tell if it's something that you can manage, get through, or if you really need to make a change?
Well, first and foremost, don't try to figure this out by yourself by thinking really, really hard while you look up in the sky. You're not going to solve a problem like that. I invite you to get some objectivity. Talk with a friend who has your best interest in heart. They can ask you some great questions, maybe give you some reframes to think about. Work with a career coach like myself. Talk with a therapist. The one thing you don't want to do is ask yourself these questions. Get an outside party who is objective that can ask you some great questions.
So what sort of issues would you say can lead to a mid-career crisis?
Oh, well, of course, we got those big birthdays that show up. That could be 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, right? You think about the stereotypical midlife crisis. Something else that's key is comparing your life and your job and your work to everybody on the internet that you don't even know.
Right.
That could play a really key role. Don't forget, Google and the internet tells a story, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Those two things right there, comparing yourself to strangers, but also comparing yourself to friends who may be progressing and finding success, we can really give ourselves a hard time and start beating ourselves up.
I feel like I need you over my shoulder every time I'm scrolling on Instagram or somewhere and be like, don't look at that. All right, so let me ask you this. How can somebody try to refocus their career after spending years doing the same job or the same thing every day?
Yeah, I want to remind people that breakthroughs come in small steps. I'm not going to invite anyone to make any drastic, crazy moves right now, like quit your job. However, what you can do is do some informational meetings with people across different fields and different industries to see if that's something that you may be interested in pursuing. Of course, you can take a course on a new subject matter where you can learn and see if that's something you're interested in. You can attend a training or an event. The key thing is action. Most people during times like this, they like to isolate and they like to stay away from people, but this is the time when you need to connect and lean forward to see what's out there for you.
Love that. So you say that mid-career professionals actually have more leverage over employers. Why is that?
Listen, just a couple of months ago, employers posted 12 million, not 12 million job openings. These jobs are available right now. And listen, if you have a strong track record, if you are great at what you do, if you have case studies to show, there is so much leverage right now. Leverage when it comes to the title that you get, leverage when it comes to your salary, leverage when it comes to working remote or hybrid. And one other thing is not just with brand new jobs. Guess what? There's leverage internally within organizations. People watching this right now could be one tough conversation from a brand new career at their same company.
That is so true. I love how you say mid-career crisis, because I got to tell you, I think that that's going on even earlier than it's ever gone on before. I don't think people are waiting until they're 50. I think it can just happen depending on where you are right now and the experiences that you've gone through. Antonio, thank you so much for checking back in with us, and we hope we can have you back.
See you soon.
Take care.